just a retiree resident of Madison County. And I'd like a clarification on a couple of the statistics that our member of the Chamber of Commerce started with. I think that he said he sent out 150 surveys.
I emailed out 150 surveys, yes, sir.
And I understand you got
Actually-
20% back.
Well, wait a minute. Actually, if you would, just make whatever presentation you would like, and then Mr. Ainsmeyer can respond if he wants to. But
He sent out emails to the business community. And out of the emails he sent back, I know he said he got 20% response back. Does that mean the other 80% of the businessmen in this county didn't think enough of his survey about legalizing liquor, which was what it was leading up to not even answer? If so, how can the Chamber of Commerce stand here and back a decision that over 80% of their members don't even feel like they need to respond to?
okay, anybody else? Okay. Mr. Ainsmeyer, did you want to say anything?
Yes, sir, please.
You have your hand raised.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to make my opinions perfectly clear. I don't believe there's been any fraud whatsoever by anybody anywhere. I didn't say that. We have a situation that has developed over a period of time that includes an inaccurate, I think undisputably, an inaccurate voter registration list. When it comes to taking a survey of people, you can't make them respond. You have to just go by the ones that respond. And if that's wrong, I'm wrong. I'm just reporting what the survey itself was stated by the members of the Chamber of Commerce. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anyone else? This is kind of your last call, because I'm going to close the public hearing part of it, unless someone else has something to say. Okay. Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to do, if I could, is go ahead and close the public comment part of it. Let me give the board, if you'd like, some instructions on the law, and then you all can vote. What you would have to do...
Wait,
Sir?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. One very important thing.
Okay, come back up and...
All right. It may be beneficial to just have one commissioner ask the supervisor of elections in the validation of that 11,600 names, if she believes that accurate, if that list is accurate. Just that she believes that list is accurate. Just ask her that.
Well, what we'll do is, Ms. Williams, if you would like to comment on that, you're welcome to. You're not required to, so if you'd like to comment on that fact. Okay. Do you wish to comment on it?
Let me make a comment if
Sure.
I may. As long as this door's been open. My name is Ron Lebowski, and I'm General Counsel for the Florida State Association of Supervisors of Elections. Basically, I represent all of the supervisors throughout the state. And Ms. Williams and I have been discussing some of the issues that you've heard presented here today. In looking at the numbers that we presented to you, we presented them in good faith based upon what's on the state database. As you probably know, but every county in the state feeds all of their information into the state database, and they run basically the total voter registration list for the whole state, and we draw down from that list, and they're correspondingly corrected. We've checked with the post office. We think part of the issues that may have been presented is an issue of the way the post office has to deliver mail. If they don't have your name on their list, even though you've listed yourself on that voter registration form, they're not going to deliver that mail there. It's going to come back as undeliverable. So we, in our list maintenance program, are going to be going through that to ascertain that the list is 100% correct as well as we can, but for people moving and not telling us they've moved. If they move, they leave town, they don't tell us. We don't know that. They stay on the list until they move to another state. We'll never know. But if they move to another county, we'll know when they register again, and then they'll come off our list. But that's generally the way it works. So we believe that the numbers are correct based upon the good faith process that we follow under the statutes. But I'd call attention to, as we were talking about all these numbers, and you have various training and degrees or schooling, you can take numbers and you can do just about anything you want with them if you want to try to make them work in your favor. I call your attention to the fact that during your most recent general election, you had 9,000 people who voted in Madison County. So if you're talking about these numbers about what's on the list, 11,600 as of July 30th, and you had 8,960 people vote, basically 9,000 people vote, you only got 2,000 people out there who didn't show up at the polling place to vote, and that's a pretty extraordinary turnout if you think about it. So I think that is everybody on that list alive? Is everybody on that list still living in that same house? We can't come here and attest to that or give sworn testimony or anything like that. But the list is as good as it can be under the circumstances, the way we're operating, and that's all we can provide to you is what we had on that computer over there in Tallahassee on the day that you asked us to say July 30th, which seems to be the Attorney General opinion date, and tell you how many, when we went through the list, how many seemed to be on the rolls, and they weren't duplicate signatures or anything like that. So the numbers you got from the supervisor are the best information that we have available, and if there's any issues with respect to going forward after this, dealing with those roles, we're going to take care of that. Mr. Chairman, if there's any questions?
I just have one. I did look on the state register for supervisor elections, and every state supervisor election in the state is required by law to report their voter rolls on certain days every year or 2 years, or how is it?
Well, no, sir. Actually, those rolls over there are changing daily. Because in other words, if somebody moves from Madison County down to Polk County and registers to vote, what's going to happen is that supervisor is going to go into that computer system and enter that they've got John Jones down in Polk County, and they're going to look up to see if it's the same John Jones elect here. And then the supervisor is going to get a notice that that person was removed from your rolls because they registered down in Polk County. So Jada and I looked at it one day, and the next day it was different. So, I mean, it's not going to be by hundreds, but it's going to change depending upon the flow of your people. So, obviously, Madison County's not a lot coming or going, but as compared to a big metropolitan area, but that number over there in that state database is going to change, on a regular basis. It's not going to be the same every month or every 2 months. And what we do, as one of the gentlemen said, is we're required to biannually, every 2 years, go through a list maintenance, check the people who didn't vote, people who we've gotten notices from the post office, change of address, any other kind of notices that we may have received from the Department of State dealing with the deceased or anything like that, and go through those and try to do that. And what we send is the mail. It goes out, it's returned undeliverable, then we try to follow up and determine the status of those people before we move them to a status where they're inactive. Even though they still can vote, but they're inactive, and they're not going to be counted as being registered voters for when you do something like this.
Excuse me, but your opinion, isn't that pretty high, 1,520 return for this small county?
Yeah.
That's kind of.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We've gone to the post office, and we think that that's part of the issue. Now, whether that's a high percentage, it would seem to potentially be, but I don't think we can tell you that there's this horrible issue with a bunch of improperly registered people on your voter rolls over here. I think that part of those mailings went out and they're undeliverable because the post office doesn't know that those people live there. Now, there may be other issues, and our responsibility is, from this point on, based upon this information, to go figure that out, and we will do that. But all we can do is give you the numbers that we have on the documents that we maintain, and then you, as the county commission, as your attorney, is probably going to tell you in a minute. You got a call according to the Attorney General. You get to decide whether that's the number you want to use, or hard and fast, or how you want to go about it. But I'm going to let him do his job on explaining a 50-year-old law.
Can I ask him a question?
Well, do you wish to take a question?
I don't really think I care to get into a dialogue with the citizens.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question.
Okay, I guess we're opening back up.
I just have a quick question.
Okay, well, come on forward, be recognized.